So we're going to continue with Facebook today or this evening. Um, so there's a few things that we have covered, like creating a Facebook page, but we'll carry on from where we left off with E1 yesterday, for those of you who were there yesterday. So let's just see if anybody else is joining. Got most people. Yeah, just keep yourself on mute during the session. And also, when we go through, after we finish, I'll share the slide deck. Keep the chat focused on the session. If there's any problems, issues that I can solve during the session about the session, then please reach out. But if it's to do with your booking forms or anything like that, please do reach out to your success coach and they can help you. So we're going to cover Facebook again and understand the challenges in digital marketing and how they impact social media marketing, understand the legal and ethical issues related to social media marketing campaigns, understand and be able to schedule posts. We'll look at like the Facebook planner, see how we use that, understand how to engage with your audience. Right. So, okay. So what I want you to do is just see if those of you who created a Facebook page yesterday, if anybody's willing to share their Facebook page, then share the link in the chat. Okay. So some of you spent some time yesterday on Facebook and you created a business page. If you managed to get something done in the chat, if you share your link, if you're comfortable doing that, so that we can all kind of have a look and see how that's going. Just bear with me. I think I've got a person in the waiting room. Okay. Okay. So again, if you've created a Facebook page yesterday, so share the link with us in the chat so we can have a look, give some feedback. So I'll do the same because I did create one yesterday as well. And what I did was I shared the page with my Facebook friends. Okay, so some of them actually joined the page as well because yesterday I had 0 followers. Now I have 22 likes and 23 followers, which is a good start. And most of them I recognize and I've had communicated with. So it's okay for me because obviously I've created my profile page for business purposes in the first place with that intention. But you may have friends, family that you don't want on your page. So in that case, you would have to share. One thing you could do is go into groups, Facebook groups that are related to your market, join those groups and, share a post in there from your Facebook page. So if you create a post in your Facebook page, then you can go down to share and then share to a page. So you can join other pages and share to that page. You can also share to a group if they allow. So if you've joined, you'd have to join that page or join that group first before you're allowed to do that. So for excuse me, for educational purposes, what I'd like you to do is share your page into the group. Then what we need to do is have a look at other pages and request to join that page or like that page. Okay, so like each other's page. And then I want you to post something on your page, right? And share it to a group or page that you've joined. Hopefully that's clear. So for example, this is my page, right? Okay, so this is my page. Now, if I went to search on Facebook, right here, I could search people, okay? But if I go down to pages, where is pages here? Okay, it will display my page, but also I could go discover. So first you click on pages, then you go to discover, click on that, and then you get loads of pages, right? and majority of them may not be like things you're interested in, or just suggest it for you. I don't know why they suggest it, what they find, but they basically look at your demographics. For some reason, if you're Asian, they think you're into Bollywood, so they start showing you stuff like that. So you can put the actual, um, what you're interested in here, like technology. Oops, I did the jump there. You can put tech, and you'll find groups and also pages. Okay, so it's like sometimes you can search for posts, people, reels, pages like this. So you want to go to pages. One thing that you will realize with Facebook, there's a lot of spam, there's a lot of um, crazy people, scammers, all sorts of stuff. So you have to filter through that. It has benefits. Facebook has benefits. It is kind of there's a big audience there, but there's a lot because where there's basically treasure, there's pirates, right? So because there's so many people on Facebook, it's a hot place for scammers, a hot place for fake profiles and all sorts, right? So sometimes what the algorithms does is it suggests you things that might not be legit. Okay, may not be genuine. So just be cautious. I've seen that on LinkedIn as well, but Facebook's pretty much like that, especially if you're in the if you're in the wealth niche. Okay, when money's involved. So if you're focused on, say, how to make money online, things like that, there is a lot of scam groups and stuff. So when you go to pages, even with Facebook recommendations, that like you just saw, there was a lot of pages that I would never be interested in, right? But so there's something about the algorithm that doesn't work as good as TikTok, for example. TikTok would show me exactly what I want. Facebook, it shows you all sorts of stuff, and I don't know what they base it on, because I haven't been even active on Facebook for a while. So it's a bit strange how they determine what you should be interested in or not. So you could actually tell it what you're interested in, like tech, and then see if you go to pages, okay, and you'll see all these pages, right? So they're all tech, but it's only because it says tech in the actual title, right? So it's not like it could be about tech, it may not be about tech. So you need to see what that is, right? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna share each other's page. So that's what we've done in the group, so in the chat, sorry. Go to each other's page and like it. Okay. So for example, with my page here, if I go to this one, that is my page. So what I would do is I'll take that from here. Whoops, I meant to copy it. That's the profile. So that's not going to there. You might have to switch to your from your profile to your page. Once you've got the page URL, copy that, go into Zoom, go into the chat, and paste it into the chat here, like I have. Okay, open 1 second to everyone in the meeting. There we are. So that's my one. Okay, so some of you still can't create a page. Um, that's okay. Just like somebody else's page,
By like,
and
do you mean follow?
yes, if you go to the page, if it's some pages say follow, you're correct. So follow, yeah. Liking is obviously the posts, yeah. So you're following each other's page. Sorry, you're right. So try to follow each other so that you get some following. Okay, and also check each other's pages, and if you can, then give a comment. If there's a post, maybe kind of. So for me, I think I have to log in again. Sometimes it says log in again, right? Let me see. I think. Yeah, it opened in a different browser for some reason. So if I like open it in this browser, okay, so that's one of yours that I brought up. So that's really good. I can see that, a really good banner there, a cover photo, nice logo. It seems to be a page that you've used quite a lot. It's been around for a while. Lots of likes, got the information here for the lots of posts. So when you find something like this, what I want you to do is go down. If you find a post that you want to share, okay, then you can just click on share here on somebody's page and share to your feed if you're willing to do that, so you can support each other. But that's something that you want to do, yeah. Just support each other's pages, right? So for what I've done on my profile, if I go to Facebook, one second. So go to Facebook, and then if I go to my group, okay, I need to change to my profile for that because the profile is the owner of the group. And then I go to the group. So it'll be under my group. So if you haven't got a group, you won't be able to find a group, obviously, but you might have joined a group, right? So I've put a challenge in here. So the idea of my brand or what I'm starting is basically an old, well, it's about a few years old, right? I started in 2016, but at some point I kind of stopped getting active. So what I did was I started off a new brand, and I'm trying to keep up with that brand. The brand name is Neuro Blockchain, and then I'm focusing on digital marketing, blockchain technology, and artificial intelligence. Those three subjects, basically digital marketing and emerging technologies, right? So all these people that are in here, they're interested in blockchain or something like that. But a lot of them are digital marketers as well. So if I now wanted to reactivate this community, I would need to create content, which is what I'm doing. So I'm posting stuff on TikTok every day, but I'm then uploading that video onto my group. So what it is called repurposing content, creating it once for TikTok, and then I'm posting it into the group. Then what's happening is some people are commenting or liking the post. Not a lot of people, but it takes a bit of time before people actually expect content here and they come here to check out content. You have to set the stage. So what I'm going to do is what I've done here, I've done this before in the past and it worked really well, but it requires some courageous people. So what I did here before this session is I put a challenge, okay? So the challenge is a 30-day Facebook Live challenge to share your knowledge about digital marketing or emerging technologies such as blockchain or AI. So where you guys would fit in is digital marketing. Because a lot of people here are marketers, you would get that attention, okay? Now, if you wanted to do well on social media, one of the things that you can do is become authority. Okay, put yourself out there as an authority. To do that, you need to create content like I'm doing. A lot of people know me here, but I've been inactive. So to build up my authority again, I need to start creating content. And the best way to do that is actually put your face to camera and go live or post a video of yourself, right? If you want to take that opportunity, you have 2,700 people here in this group. I will invite you to join this group. So you're free to join. There's no obligation. You don't have to. But if you're willing to join this group, okay, what you'll benefit from is even after you've been on this course, you'll still be within this group. Okay. And any content I create about digital marketing or emerging technologies, you'll obviously get to see. But you have an opportunity to post as well and gain new followers from here, which you can funnel out to your pages by sharing links and so on. But the challenge is on a daily basis, if you can create a live video in here, okay, or post a video in here and create that authority, build up that authority. So there isn't, you don't have to, okay, but it's an opportunity, okay? Because if you're going into someone else's group and posting your content, It could be that in that group they don't allow you to do that. They block you, they delete you. With my group, I am looking for people of authority, okay, who can actually become community leaders, create content creators within a community that already exists. This may encourage other people to also create content, but it will bring value to the group. That's what I'm basically going to get. What you're going to get is an opportunity to stand on stage, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that group to the chat as well. Now,
Uh,
exactly what I did there, okay, you can do for other people as well. Okay, so you can do the same as well. The way it works is you're basically going to build your own community. Once you get to a stage where you've got 500 people, 1,000 people, then your community is your asset. So to collaborate with somebody else, what you're saying is, look, I'm going to bring your business to my community, and in return, you basically create some content for my community, right? It's that trade-off. And that's how you build your community. Do you collaborate with other people who have established communities to get that audience, to get that eyeball? Lanusa, you got your hand up?
Yes, I'm trying to join your page, but it says it's a private page.
Yep. So
And
have you requested? Have you put a request in? Yeah.
uh, there
No.
is no button for request.
Okay. Let me check out what's going on there. Because this is also something that you need to be aware of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to invite. Okay. Let me see. Because it could be like here you can see it says private, right? So when you start off a group, you have to decide whether you want it public or private. Okay. If it's public, anybody will be able to find your group by searching for it, like if they put neuro blockchain in. But if it's private, they can't find it anywhere, even if they put neuro blockchain in the search, right? They won't be able to find it. Plus, if you go private with your group, you can't go back to public. But if your group is public, you can turn it to private. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So this group is private. So it says only members can see who's in the group and what they post. So that privacy is that only the people here can see what you can post. So I'm gonna go invite and I'm gonna click on that and it's gonna give me invite Facebook friends. Okay. So if I wanted to invite my Facebook friends, this will come up and it takes a bit of time. But all your friends will come up and you can add your friends. Okay. You can also select this to add them automatically. Okay, so do you want to send automatic invitations to this group? Your followers will start receiving invitations to join. So you won't be able to select another group for the next 7 days. So basically, if I click confirm here, it's automatically gonna send everybody an invite to this group, right? So I've got 5,000 plus people on my profile. They'll all get an invite and they'll come in. Now, to share it with you guys, I think I need to click on share because you're not on my Facebook. Then I need to click on the copy URL and then I need to share it in the Zoom, right? So let me do that. Now, Facebook rewards you. Oh, it's the same link. So I don't know what's going on from your side, but let's see if I got requests. So this is the member request here. If I refresh the page, let's see if there's any requests. So there's one request now, okay? If I click on that, I can see you got Cecilia wants to join you, right? And I'm guessing it's somebody here. Now you can see that there's some criterias, yeah? So when you're joining, when Cecilia was joining, you had some questions, right, to answer. So you can put this into your group before when you're setting up the group, you would basically have some membership questions. They would have to answer them, and then you would have to approve. All of this is in the settings. So you can see on the left hand side here, admin tools. Under that, you've got member requests, badge requests, member questions, pending approval, scheduled posts, group rules. So basically, this is the group rules, right? Where you've got respect one another and all this, and they have to agree to that. So you can put group rules in, you can put membership questions in. So this group is for sharing knowledge around crypto, blockchain. Now, if you wanted to change that, you would need to edit. I need to update it myself. Okay, so I need to go edit. So this group is for sharing knowledge around um, digital marketing. See if I go back around.
Sorry, how did Cecilia could join? I haven't got any request on my.
Okay, just bear with me a second. I'll be with you in a sec. And emerging technology. Okay, so as you can see, that's changed now. Okay, and you would say, okay, you're not going to spam, you're not going to put any affiliate links in, no self promotion, but you're going to create value. If you're happy with that, yes. You're going to create valuable information. How do you define this group? So you can put something like that, and then basically, once that person's agreed, they will access. Now, I put that link in, but I don't know what you're seeing on your side when you're clicking this.
I can share.
I'm not sure if you want to do a screenshot, and it should be something like this where you can join the group,
I'll just share it 1 second.
but just let me know if you do a screenshot or something. But I mean, what I've seen is like previously, I in my community, obviously those people in the community knew who I was over time because I created a lot of content, and there was people that I assigned roles to, like admins. So usually, what people do is like if people in your community, you actually reach out to them and say you can have a little kind of private one-to-one conversation with them and say, hey, would you like to be an admin in my group? And sometimes you might think, okay, that's extra work for somebody, but actually, a lot of people appreciate it. They feel acknowledged. Okay, so if there's somebody in your community that's posting, liking, what I would suggest is basically reach out to them and see if they want to be an admin, give them that role, and then also maybe give them a task like if feel free to post value, do some videos. So it's not just you who's posting. There's other people in the community that's posting. And I've done that previously, and there were people who actually did post a lot of value, and the community feeling came, right? So let me just see what's
I
going on
know
there.
what's the problem is
Okay, tell me.
because she is locked like a business page instead of personal profile.
Okay, mine or yours? Is it
You
your
mean
profile?
mine? My page.
Okay. Okay, I know what it is. So when I created my group, okay, when I created my group, I think I know what it is. When I created my group, what I did was in the settings, so you can go into the settings, right, for your page or your group. I think it's the group. I don't know if it works with the page as well. So let me just go back. Facebook's a bit fiddly in that way because it's got so much stuff going on, right? Well, if I go back to the group, if I find it, group, and then you go to the group, okay? When I went through the settings of this, so these three dots here, if I click on that and I go down to, actually, it's not there. Let me see, where is it? That's the thing about Facebook. There's so many different places where you could look for settings, for example. So the group settings is here. Okay, so this little thing. Customize, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Basically, there is a place for the settings of this group, right? I'm not going to waste time trying to look for it because it's always, you know, like in a different place. But what I did was when I set up the group, I put that pages can't join. Okay.
Oh,
The reason I put that is because sometimes I found that there were who scammers found a way to create pages, okay, and almost like clone genuine people, okay, or genuine businesses as a page, and somehow they even managed to take the actual URL. So the URL would be exactly the same as your page, okay, but it's a scam page. So it seems like a genuine business, and then they would write negative things on your in your group, okay? and they will try to scam people from your group by becoming a page in your group, and it's annoying. And sometimes also your page could get hijacked, just like their big scammers are taking over the pages. I've seen times where my own page was somehow cloned or taken over, hijacked by a scammer, and it wasn't actually my page. It was another page that's got everything. It's like even the URL, everything's the same. You can't tell the difference. So it became really annoying. So what I did is when I created my group, basically put it in the settings that no pages can join. That's why you can't join. Okay. So what you would have to do is switch to your profile rather than your page, and then click on that link in the Zoom. Okay. And try to join as your profile page, not your
Oh,
business page. So your profile rather than your business page, if that makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, I can do now. Thank you.
And then it will work. Okay. So there's a few things to pick up there. Now, what's the difference between a page and a group? A page is your business front shop front. Okay, it's like on the internet. I told you yesterday, you can literally have a page that is doing everything that a website does. Okay, that is your shop front. What is your group? Your group is your community, your customers, and your consumers. Okay, it's a community. It's not your shop front. So with your business, some people from that community will start coming into your business. So you're leading people from the group to your page. Okay, you're leading people from your group to your page, to your shop where the products are, where you're giving information about your promotions and everything else. Your community, your group is where you nurture. Okay, you give free value. So if you were to promote, say, I don't know, you're promoting perfume, yeah, cosmetics, okay, on your page, then your group would be about cosmetics, obviously, but what you'd share is tips and tricks, and like other stuff, like did you know, history, things that people are interested in, as well as photography, as well as videos, and just build up the community of people who are into fragrances or health and beauty, right? Collaborate with other influencers, create interviews, put it into that group, give value to the community of people who are interested in health and beauty, right? And from there, you basically building up the brand. Okay, so that community is a brand. Then once you have a page in your about this group or somewhere around here, what you would do is put a link to your page, and you do that afterwards. So if you look on my TikTok, for example, right now, if you go to TikTok, and neuro blockchain, so on the TikTok, in my profile, you won't see any on my profile, if this profile, you won't see on the bio any link. Okay, there's no link to any other place. Okay, so I'm creating content here, and I'm not putting in any link to anywhere. Why? Because at the moment I'm just building that value. I'm giving people value. I'm not trying to sell anything. I don't want people to go anywhere else. I just want them to become followers, right? Once you build up that momentum and people know you're giving value, when you create a link and put it there, you're basically giving them an avenue to go somewhere else, right? But you don't want them to leave too soon. So that gives you time to build up your website, build up your page, or build up your products while you're nurturing, while you're building a community. So once you've built the community up, then you can funnel them into your page, and from your page they can go to your website. That's the idea. So we're going to go back to the presentation now. Anybody who managed to kind of request into that group, there's another request there. Actually, that's Cecilia's. I'll approve that. So you're now in the group, and you can take up that challenge. You may not, but learn from this strategy, because you can do the same. Once you've gathered enough people, you can create community challenges, get people to encourage people to go live, communicate with your community, build that common ground, like, whether it's about tech, whether it's about health and beauty, whatever you may be interested in, and nurture that community. It's very important. It's very powerful as well. So if we go back to the presentation, okay, so there's some challenges in digital marketing. Digital marketing involves managing a wide range of tools, channels, technologies, and these evolve quickly. So basically, the algorithms change, the platforms may become obsolete. There may be new platforms that kind of take over the attention, and then you've got like platform compatibility issues. There could be growth and fragmentation of digital channels, like people are going into different channels. Big data and analytics, it could be complicated. And then there's the cybersecurity threat. Now, I personally think, even though we're going to go through each one of these, right, the challenges, I think over time, a lot of these challenges, we know how to deal with them, right? So I'm not going to spend too much time on these, but I'll quickly explain how to deal with it. So the first one is SEO algorithm changes. Basically, from my opinion, yes, we'll learn about it, but in my opinion, you just have to be clued on, have that social listening to understand if there's any changes in the algorithm and just adapt. Facebook, if we focus on Facebook, it rewards you now for having a group. Okay. If you have a group, it knows those people are interested in your content. It will show most people of that group will see your content. With the page, it also rewards. However, it encourages you to use your money and do ads. Okay. Because now you're reaching out to people outside your own community. You're literally targeting customers that don't know your business, and they're going to, it's like you're doing push marketing basically, right? Whereas in your group, you're doing pull marketing, you're providing value. Um, and the other one is like you're putting it in front of them, right? So you're paying for that attention. You're paying for attention. So attention is a currency, and that's all you need to understand. The algorithms will play around with that. It will encourage you to do things where the attention is. So basically we're reading the negatives here, okay, but don't let that put you off. So some of the negative impacts of SEO changing all the time, or algorithms changing all the time, is reduced visibility for content that previously performed well, requirement of constant optimization, hashtags, captions, metadata, greater emphasis on high quality authoritative content, need to adapt quickly to avoid drops in traffic and engagement, and increase reliance on monitoring tools and analytics. I'm an optimistic, and I like to see it in a positive way. So how I see it is, look, algorithms are going to change. It's we have to just embrace that. What you need to provide is value. What you need to focus on is content, organic content, and just consistency. As long as you do that, the reduced visibility through algorithm change won't happen. You may see some differences in your numbers, but the algorithm will basically reward you all the time for good, genuine, authentic content that is consistent, okay, regardless of algorithms changing slightly and trying to push out certain features, right? So that's that one done. Requirement of constant optimization, hashtags, captions, metadata. Well, you should be doing that anyway. You should be using hashtags, you should be using captions, metadata you should be putting in, like if you're putting an image in there, always describe the image, like if you're uploading it to your website. Metadata with Facebook, if there is an option to do that in the Facebook Business Suite, then do it. But the main thing that you'll see is the caption, the description, and the hashtags. Greater emphasis on high quality and authority content. So you showing yourself as an authority, basically is saying provide value. Need to adapt quickly to avoid drops in traffic. I don't think that matters. As long as you're consistent, then you're not going to have that drop in traffic. It's going to be organic anyway. Increased reliance on monitoring tools. That's not a bad thing. If you're relying on your analytics tools to understand your audience, understand which content is good and bad, that's not a bad thing. Yes, increase reliance. Okay, if you rely too much, yes, you could look at other things like how many likes, but all that is coming into your analytics anyway. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a learning curve. You need to understand it. Okay. The next one is obsolete platforms. Look, Facebook's been around so long, it's still going. It's not going to go obsolete. Twitter did rebrand as X, but it's just still the same platform. MySpace disappeared a long time ago, but a lot of the platforms that are here today have been able to stay. There was one, what was it called? Periscope. I don't really hear much of that nowadays. Snapchat, I don't know if that's around and well, it is around, but I don't know how popular it is. It may have its own audience, but I think TikTok killed those two, right? So at the end of the day, yes, adapt, move to a bigger platform, move to where the attention is, but obsolete platforms, you just need to be aware that sometimes you may need to jump. Like, for example, I'm taking people from Facebook to TikTok, but at the same time, 3 times I tried to move away from Facebook. It never happened because my community, I can't move them because they're, even though they do follow on TikTok, they're also very active on Facebook. So Facebook is very powerful and you can't really move away from it. And it does things as well to make sure you don't go away from it. Okay. So obsolete platforms, I wouldn't worry too much about. You just need to stick to the big boys. For example, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. If there's any new platforms that come out, just take any marketing with a pinch of salt because don't go over dependent on a brand new platform that suddenly appears from nowhere. Um, so the next thing is new platforms emerging. Well, at the same time, and in the same breath, when I say don't jump onto a new platform, what I'm saying is don't, stop creating content on the platform that's working for you and make that jump without doing research. If you are lucky enough to recognize an emerging platform that may do well because of the research that you've done, say you've recognized the potential of TikTok back in 2021, right? You do jump on it. You literally just go crazy on it, right? So there has been some new emerging platforms like Threads, Be Real, Lemonade. You need to pay attention to see, is it worth me getting on there? There's always a risk with early adoption, whether it's you're a startup, you're an investor, or you're basically starting creating content on a new platform. There's that risk that it may fail, or you might become one of the earliest creators on that platform. So there's that, challenge there. You have to make that decision. So the impacts is the need to learn new features, content styles, and audience behaviors, greater experimentation with short-term form video, live content, AR, which isn't a bad thing. You should kind of pick up these skills. Opportunity for early competitive advantage, increased workload to test the content and allocate resources, pressure to stay relevant and culturally aligned with trends. So obviously, there's some pros of being on a new platform and being early, but also you're left alone. There may not be a lot of content out there and tips and tricks on how to create content. For example, if you went to TikTok, there's plenty of people on TikTok creating content about how to create content on TikTok. Yeah. How to engage your audience, how to build up your following. But there may not be that kind of videos for the new platform. So there's that compromise. So cross-platform compatibility. So, for example, TikTok favors vertical video with trending audio, whereas YouTube rewards long-form storytelling, and Instagram requires curated visuals. So this creates a need for multi-format platform-specific planning. However, the long form videos on YouTube work, but you've also got the YouTube Shorts, so you can go cross platform there, and you can also go cross platform on Stories on Facebook, and also Reels. Okay, so you can do that still. You can repurpose content. Growth in digital channels. Customers may start their journey on Instagram, get retargeted on TikTok, read a review on Google, and convert through a website. This fragmentation means social media cannot function in isolation. So basically, if you're just focused on one platform, you're leaving money on the table, you're leaving attention on the table. You have to connect all these platforms somehow and also cross promote. So On your YouTube, you promote your website. On your TikTok, you promote your Facebook, that kind of thing. Big data analytics, again, data from multiple sources, Meta Insights, Google Analytics, TikTok Analytics, CRM data. It must be combined to create an accurate picture. Without the right interpretation and strategies, basically it can all fall to bits. So you need to take data from everywhere and look at it. So your CRM may bring everything in one place, but there needs to be basically some kind of collaboration with the big data. Um, you can get overwhelmed by it. You might not know what you're looking at, but a good CRM will make it easier for you because CRMs have your social input from each channel and you'll be able to see everything. So whether you're using Zoho, you're using Monday.com, it will give you that ability. There is a cybersecurity risk. Okay, so you need to think about these social media accounts. Like I say, they get hacked. If you're an influencer, if you got a lot of people who believe in you or trust you, your account may get hacked, or there will be impersonators who are using your photos with a different name or something and putting out content and then targeting your audience, your customers, scamming them, and that's something to be aware of. A lot of TikTok influencers, they have multiple people, different accounts basically, with the same image, and all these are fake accounts. So that is a problem, and just be aware of that, because you will have the same thing. And sometimes it's important to let your customers know, consumers know that these are fake accounts, right? That you would never ask for money, for example. Um, so I want you to have about 5 minutes to reflect on your own digital marketing plans and the type of content you want to share on social media channels. Okay. So identify which digital marketing challenges will have the biggest impact on your activities and explain why. So we went through a few challenges: the algorithms, platforms going obsolete, new platforms emerging, cross-platform compatibility with your content, the growth of digital marketing channels or digital social channels, big data and analytics, or cybersecurity. So out of that list, if you're to create content, if you were to create content, social media content for your business, which of these would be challenging for you? Okay, that's what I'm asking. So I want you to just list the ones that will be challenging for you in the chat. Okay, so you've got 5 minutes to think about it as well. Like, why are you putting them in that list? Okay, so has everybody thought about their challenges? So I've got a few people that have posted in here. Um, okay, but not a lot of people. Okay, so let me go around. Francesca, any challenges for you when you're posting on social? You there?
Probably for me, I don't have a way, really a very good way of measuring data and analytics. I need to sort of sort it out. But I'm aware of that and I know what I can do. So
Yeah. Okay. I mean, once you start creating content, there will be options to check the analytics. If you're not creating content, you won't
yeah,
see
that's the
you
problem at
won't
the
see any
moment.
data basically. So it's just making that start. And then you'll see the options, you'll see the charts, you'll see the data, and then it's about studying that data. All right. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I know it seems a bit daunting, even for myself, if I start thinking, okay, what do I do with the analytics? But if you're not creating content, you'll never see the analytics in the first place. So you got to create the content. Now that I'm creating some content, I can just click on analytics on TikTok and I can see which videos is getting what views, but also on the actual video, I can see how many likes, how many comments, and then about responding to those comments, how long people are staying on the video. But the first step is to start creating, basically. Abby, any challenges for you?
I think just basically managing um, content and creating content what is a bit different to spread across all of the platforms.
Yeah.
Because if they're all your content's exactly the same and you do it in the same order, your
Mm,
audience is not going to go from Facebook to Instagram because it's exactly the same content. So
yeah.
it's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I would repurpose the content. I mean, some content do work with across platforms. Like I've created content on TikTok, which is informative content, and I've shared that in my Facebook group, and I think it works there. If you start thinking deep about the audience, you have to find a common ground. And what I found is it's a lot easier to create content if you're just being yourself, okay, rather than trying to be someone else, okay? So you might see influencers being funny or, having a certain type of charisma, certain type of character, yeah, and you want to be like them. But if that's not you and you try to be a different persona, a different character, yeah, it will show. Your audience will know that it's not real. It's not you. The best way and the easiest way to do it is just be yourself, okay? And then when you're creating content on different platforms, just know that you're talking to a specific audience on that platform that it has a certain demographics, and just talk to that individual. So you're talking to one person, that Bob or Alice, across every platform. And you'll find every platform has the common people there. It's not always the same people, but it's the same people who are interested, and that tribe will build up. So you just have to give it time. And it's about just creating content until you see which content is working, which one's getting all the views, and which one's not working. Once you recognize the type of content that is actually getting attention, that's the type of content you always create. Okay. So it could be one piece of content that you put that you went straight away, like said something like, did you know? And you started off, right? Or you did a shock factor at the beginning, or something you did, you wouldn't know until that's got a lot of attention, and then you'll look at that video and think, I know why this might have got so much attention. Maybe it's because I did this in this video, maybe it's because I started off like this. And this, you'll use that formula again and again until you know exactly how you create your content. But again, it's about making that start first. Let's see who else you got. Kieran, what about yourself? You said something about not having the CRM.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we were supposed to get one, and it's been 3 years back and
Okay.
forth because there was some problem with importing the data and whatever. But anyway, it's ridiculous because we've got like yeah, quite a big following on X, and we've
Mm,
started Instagram. But I mean, there's just
no, nothing to manage it all.
no.
Okay. I mean,
So
if you're quite active on X, then what you could do is you could just provide that information about Instagram. So you could create a post on Instagram and then share it into your X without being too pushy. But anybody who's got an Instagram account who's following your next, if they're still interested in your business and what you do, then they may follow to your Instagram
mhm,
from their X. So you would create the content on X, you
mhm,
post, you share it into your, so you'd create the content on Instagram and you
mhm.
share it into your X because that's where your audience is.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then basically you do that all the time and people will funnel through. Okay.
yeah.
You shouldn't think about, like, if you've got 10,000 people on X, right? You
Mhm.
shouldn't be concerned if only 500 or 1,000 people move over, right? Because whoever moved over, they're the ones you should focus on. The rest of the people may be dormant. They might not be interested on Instagram. They might not be interested in your business. So
Yeah.
that
No, I, I
10,000 people,
I liked what you had to say about it's not about migrating your audience over
yeah,
necessarily. It's
no,
just about there's different people on different platforms.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's about recognizing. It's like you've got a house, right? And in that house, you've got different rooms, and each room's got different music playing. Some rave going on in one room, classic music going on in another room, 80s pop going on in another room, and we're having a house party. Not everybody's gonna like a rave. Not everybody's gonna like pop music from the 80s. Everybody's gonna find their own kind of music, right? But you own the house, okay? So as long as everybody's enjoying themselves and they stay within the house, you're fine.
Mm.
Okay, it's your house party, right? But let them choose their room and have a good time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a good
Okay.
analogy. Thanks.
Okay, no worries. So let's go back to, okay, 7 o'clock. I want to have a little break. Okay, so let's only have because we finish at 8:30, don't we? So we've got plenty of time. So let's have a 10-minute break. Okay, so that our brains can refuel. Go and get yourself a cup of coffee or get some fresh air, and we'll start again at 10 minutes past 7. Okay. So I'm just gonna go back to, okay, right. So here I've also shared a course on internet safety in the chat, so if you want to go through that. Now, when it comes to, if I just share the other screen, just bear with me a second. Share the right screen. All right, when it comes to planning, okay, we need to look at different platforms. So we'll look at social media planning on Meta, and we'll look at another planner as well, which is called ClickUp. And there's many different planners that you can use. You can just use Google Calendar, or you can even use Excel as well. But there's various planners, and we'll look at Facebook for this one. But let's carry on with the presentation, and we'll come to that in a second. Okay. So creating posts. So obviously, what we want to do is we want to create posts when they stay active, right? Now, if we're going to stay active on social media, it can be quite time consuming, especially across different platforms. Okay, so scheduling posts is important. And obviously, to manage your posts, you want to be creating something like a planner, a content calendar, which basically gives you when you're going to post, what kind of content you're going to post. You can use what was it called? I forgot now. We were using something else earlier for with the cards. I forgot the name of it. It's just gone from my head. But you can
Trello.
Trello, that's it. Trello. So you can use Trello as a kind of to plan things, but it doesn't look like a calendar unless you put the dates in yourself or put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But if we look at Facebook, Facebook has a planner within its Meta Business Suite. It says planner here on the left hand side. If you click on that, it shows you like a calendar, and it's connected to your Facebook, obviously. So what you can do here is basically put in your content and when you're going to post them. Okay, so because I've posted all these anyway, already, and I posted them one after another, you can see the time when I posted it, and if I click onto it, it will open that post. Okay, and it'll show me the analytics of that post. So remember on Facebook yesterday when we were creating our pages, what I did was I created a new page at the same time, which was this one. I invited friends from my group, and sorry, from my page, and a few people liked the page, and I started getting some followers. Not a lot, but that's fine. Okay. So you got some followers, and what I did was yesterday, while you were creating your page, I put some posts in. Now, obviously, I created these posts in advance, and how I did it was I used a Canva template, and I just changed the quotes. I had the quotes already written from previous posts that I've created without the consistent branding. So I used other kind of images and stuff, but I had the quotes. So what I did was I, excuse me, I went into Chat GPT, and I basically pasted, no, I didn't paste. I took a screenshot, okay, of my quotes. So because all the quotes were on Facebook anyway, they were in this kind of album, okay? No, actually, that's not what I did. I opened all the quotes, right, in on my computer as images. So for example, what I did was I went to a folder like this, and I had all the images of the quotes in the folder, and I opened it so they're like thumbnails, and I had them on extra large, so all the thumbnails of all my images could be seen a bit like this, so they could be seen, and I took a screenshot of it, but it was a bit tiny, but readable through AI. Okay, took a screenshot of about 12 each time, so I had about 60. I uploaded that screenshot into ChatGPT, and I told it to look at the image of all the quotes and list all the quotes. So it listed all my quotes from the images, right? Then I copied and pasted each of the quotes into here, into the template. But what you can also do in Canva is you can bring them in as a batch. So if you created a new um template. So it was for, say, Facebook. So you'd find Facebook post. Where is it? So you'd have to go and find Facebook post, and it's here somewhere. Facebook ad. So you can also type in Facebook here. And it'll come up, Facebook post. So when that opens, okay, you've got this here. There is a way to import as a batch. So let's see if I can do it. Let's see, right click. Okay. It's not here. I'll have to look into how to do it. There's a way to add them as, like, I think, upload. And when you're uploading multiple images, then you can actually put them in the batch. But I'll look into that. I don't want to, again, I don't want to waste time trying to figure it out, but there is a way to bring them all in at the same time. You can just select them and they'll all come in here, but then to put them all in as images, you can do that as well. There is a tutorial somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. So I was looking at this tutorial to do this. And I was considering bringing them all in. I did them manually, like one by one, but let's see if I can find that tutorial. So batch, import, in Canva, bulk import, Canva. Okay, so Canva bulk creation tutorial. So I think it's this one. I'll paste it into the, because I don't know if it's this one, but I'll paste it in, and after the session at some point, just go for it and see if that shows you how to bulk enter. So here is basically your bulk importing data. Like, so that list of text of quotes, I could have brought in all of it. So here you can see add your data, and you can upload data as a CSV file. So you'd have to have all your quotes on a Excel with one on each row, and then basically, or down a column, and then you bring them in and it will put them in into one on each slide. Okay, so that's, I think it's this video that shows you how to do it, but just have a watch and see if it does. So I'm going to copy that, put it into the chat. Okay, but I know there's a feature with a bulk import, but I did it manually, and then I basically created these new ones. And yesterday when we created the page, I just went into my hard drive and uploaded about 5 or 6 of these posts. Okay, so one after the other. Now in the planner, so if I go to the Facebook planner and I just get out of here, you can see that where I've posted that logo, I added the logo, then I posted one after another every single minute. So about 4 in that minute. So it's basically showing you your post. So every time you are active in your Facebook page that you've created, whenever you're active here, basically on the Meta Business Suite in the planner, okay, your activity is here. Okay. But now say you don't want to go, you're not basically creating the post over there, but you're basically creating it here. Okay. So you're going here and you can go create post. And then here you've got scheduling options. So you can set the time and you can put the time. So you're basically creating your post in advance. Okay. And if I go back one, this is now, right? But say I wanted to do it tomorrow. So I can click on Friday, and then this schedule post opens because it's obviously not now. So that will open straight away. I don't even have to go and click over here. And I can put that as the 12th, or I could do it for Saturday, 10 a.m. in the morning. Okay, save. And now when I fill in the details here of the post, I put the text in, add an image, add a video, and then basically make it public. And once I've done that, I just schedule here, press that button. or I can actually set it up and say I haven't finished it. I'm just working on it because it's for Saturday. I've got time to work on it tomorrow even, but I'm still working on something to post in advance, right? So I could click on finish later and it will save it. So once your creative is done, you've put the right copywriting in there, you've written the right thing, you've added the right photo. It could be an animation that you've created on Canva, and you've got it already. You scheduled it in your planner. It will pop up here, okay, on Friday. So these are ones I did yesterday direct on the page. This is for today if I want to create a post now, and I could even put a time in. But if you're clicking on any of the other days in the future, it will still allow you to create a post, but it will be scheduled for the future. Now, if I clicked here, but I put the date for Saturday, when I see the planner, it will be here, not here, even if I clicked here when I started. So once you're creating, it all depends on what you put here. So if I put Saturday and save, and I go back to the planner, okay. Well, I didn't fill anything in, but can you see here you've got schedule post? Because I didn't actually fill anything in. So let's see, Saturday on the 13th, 10 in the morning. I'm just gonna put test. Okay, add a photo. Do I have a photo I can put in? Let me download a photo. Sales funnel image. So let's download that image, put it into my desktop, and then go back to here, not here, Facebook. Got so many open now. So just add photo, find that photo. Where is it gone? There it is. Put that in there. Okay, so now there's some media in there. It's not the best. Obviously, you'd want high quality. I'm just doing a little test just to show you these buttons are now activated. So if I've not finished, I can just click finish later. I've just maybe put a temporary image in, but I want to go and change the image later. I'll just click finish later, and I'll then change the image later on. All I have to do is delete that image and add another photo. Obviously, you can see the size of that photo is tiny because I clicked on the thumbnail. But if I actually went in there, and now I go save as, and I can replace the other one, wherever it is. I can just save that. And then I could swap that image around because obviously that one's not that good. I could go and find another image. Yeah, I think the other one's saved in a different format. So you got to think about the format saving as well. Save as WebP. Let's see if I can save a JPEG one. But obviously, you need copyright. I'm just trying to show you something. So let's save that. Let's see if it goes in as a JPEG. Okay. I don't know if I can do that one as well. Let's see. Add. Yeah, so you got to think about the format. So it's not bringing in anything other than, I think it needs a JPEG or a PNG. So I can like get a screenshot of it as a JPEG. So just to demonstrate. So I use something called Greenshot. It's a free software. It stays on your taskbar, and you can just do a screenshot like this, and then save directly, and it's going to save as a JPEG. So now when I go back in, where's it gone? So when I go back in here and add photo, I'll find that JPEG one definitely. It's this one. That's going to come in. And the quality is better, yeah? Better than the previous. So because it's high resolution. So what you do is once you're happy, you schedule it. Scheduling the post. Okay, you schedule the post through Meta Business Suite. Take a Meta Business Suite on the go. So basically, there's an app version of it as well. So you can do all your scheduling on an app. So it's giving the QR code to open your camera and take a picture, not take a picture, but just kind of scan it. Okay, and a link will pop up, and then you download the mobile version, the app version of the Meta Business Suite, and that will let you manage on the go. So you can schedule all your posts on Facebook on the go, and you can see that's in there on Saturday now. So although I've done all the creative, I've created it in advance for Saturday. So I might be at work on Saturday, I might be busy doing a Zoom call or doing something else in a meeting, but the post is going to be posted, right? So even though you could do the whole month in about 2 or 3 hours, have all the posts created, all of it maybe you could use as like a funnel where you're building awareness, then you're building just like it shows on that image, you're building awareness, then you're gathering their interest, intent, consideration, and by the end of the month, they're making a decision on buying your product. So you could plan out your posts for that. And obviously in your post there could be video and so on. So take advantage of the planner on Facebook if you're considering of posting on Facebook. HubSpot has a planner. I haven't kind of found where it is, but I need to kind of educate myself about HubSpot. But there's another one called ClickUp. Okay, obviously there's some of it that's free, some of them that isn't. But on the left hand side here, you can see planner. Okay, so if you click on that, it will show you these buttons, so you can get started with Google Calendar. I think what it does, it will brings in your Google Calendar. So if you go click on that and go continue. So this is ClickUp. So ClickUp wants access to your Google account. So once you give that access, then on the planner, you'll see you're basically where's it gone? Let's go back to home, go to the planner. Did click on it, but where is it gone? Clicked on that, added it. It showed me it for a second, but it disappeared again. Maybe it's struggling. Okay, has some access. Okay, let's see. There we are. Hopefully it'll stay this time. So that calendar is now connected to your Google Calendar. So whatever's in your Google Calendar will appear here, and whatever you put here will go into your Google Calendar. So now you can work on planning your tasks here as well. And it could be social media posts on different platforms. The advantage of doing it here, well, you've got the things that you can do. You can add documents, a bit like Trello. You can, organize your campaign here. Basically, it seems like it's got an inbox for emails. I think it's got channels here like Discord. So it's basically a bit like a CRM. It's got AI in there called Brain. So basically, you can use that functionality. You've got team functionality where you can bring in your team. At some point, obviously, it's going to ask for money. Let's see if there's a price. I can't see anything here at the moment. So until it restricts you, you just keep on using it, I guess. Um, invite upgrade. There it is. So right at the bottom there, it says upgrade. Let's click on that. Okay, so now you can see the pricing. Unlimited $7 per member. Gives you unlimited storage, unlimited folders, integration, Gantt charts, all of this. So you just basically go through and see like, what features is given, and just use it until you kind of like, let's see if there's a free, because unlimited for $10. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think there's a free version, but obviously at some point it's going to ask you to upgrade. Okay, so you will have to invest in some kind of CRM or like, but I would say try to take advantage of free templates on Google Sheets, or try to use your Google Calendar for now until you are happy with one platform, a CRM or something that you can use. But for Facebook, it has its own planner. I think TikTok, I don't know if TikTok has a planner, but it does have something to help you. So we can log in. Okay, log in. Don't know if I can remember which one it was. I think that's a different account. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll leave that. Okay, so it's about finding the right planner, but for this session, we're looking at Facebook, and that social media planner on Facebook is in Business Suite, and this is where it is, okay? But there are other planners that you can use. There is one in HubSpot. I've been looking at where it is, but I'm not sure exactly. But once I do find it, I will share. But if any of you know where it is on HubSpot, just share as well. It's basically, if you go to HubSpot, on the left-hand side, you'll see lots of icons. Okay. So once you open your account, so it's about exploring these here. So that's home. This pops up. You can close that down. It does have an AI chatbot that pops up, and you can ask it as well. I did ask it earlier, but it just said it can help me with it, but I didn't stay with it. But there is a planner here somewhere. Just don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's journeys. Let's have a look. Automates one customer journeys. No, that looks different. But I think when you start trying to use some of the features, it basically tells you to go into a trial. So I mean, you're not going to get anything, valuable for free. They'll always kind of tempt you with some of the features, and then when you're trying to do something, you're going to have to pay for it. But I'm not sure where the planner is on this one, to be honest. If you guys find it, do share. So I did ask about the content calendar, and the Hub bot said, I can help you with the content calendar features in HubSpot. HubSpot offers you tools to plan, schedule, and manage your content publishing effectively, but it doesn't give me where I go to do it. So I'm sure there's tutorials online. So you can put like something like HubSpot planner. That's if you want to use HubSpot for it. And then I'm sure there's videos how to schedule meetings on HubSpot. But again, that's 4 months ago. So it's about finding the menu that looks like this within HubSpot. But again, if you do find it, let me know, and I'll share this video in the chat just in case you guys want to watch this and see if it's in there. So just put that in. Okay. Shut the door. Yeah, so once you've had a play with that, let me go in here. So content calendar, very important. Let me just switch over. Choosing when to post. So we looked at the Facebook planner, right? So it's all about when to post and when your audience is active. So if I decide Saturday 10 in the morning, is that a good time? So when and how often you post on Facebook depends not only on your own availability, but also on the behavior of your target audience. Understanding when your customers are most active online helps you publish content at the time when it's more likely that you'll see engagement. So you got to think about when are those people most active, and that's gonna show where do you get that information? Well, when you start posting randomly, like throughout the day, obviously the analytics of those posts will be visible. So you can see if I clicked into here, that was my logo. So 6 people viewed the logo. But if I went into a quote, okay, so 12 views. Now, some of these, obviously, it's not going to get a lot of attention because only 12 people in my Facebook page right now, or 20 people. But at some point, like if I did this for my group, then there will be more engagement, for example. So at some point, this information is going to be more valuable than just having 12 views, right? And it will show me which part of the day these people started coming and watching. Okay. what time it was. Okay. Uh, viewers, interaction, likes, comments, shares, all of that. Were they followers or were they non-followers? So three of my followers viewed and nine non-followers viewed. So there's people viewing who are not following, interactions, clicks, and so on. And then it's about when they actually viewed as well. So that information will be valuable to understand when these people are active. And obviously you can see more analytics as you kind of go along, and you'll be able to compare them as well. Which posts are getting more engagement, which part of the day that did you post that, so I posted all these and it got 12, some of them got 14 views, right? Now if I posted during the day and I saw that it's getting 50 views, then obviously that time is ideal for my audience, so I would post in the morning rather than the afternoon. So unless you post, you wouldn't know that. Okay, so just need to start creating until you realize when is the best time to post. Okay, so just carry on. Organization is key. A simple way to plan your content calendar is to organize your posts into 3 to 4 themes. Themes could include engaging, educational, exciting. So you could have posts that are educational, like you could have quotes, you could have tutorials, you could have engaging, like, entertainment, and some things that are exciting, right? So like a slideshow or something. It could be an announcement, new products, promotions, special offers. The educational could be, explain how your product is unique, who benefits, and engaging to share inspirational or visual appealing content about your products and services. So, because it's your page, remember, it's about your business. It's about your products. So you shouldn't be shy about posting about your products and your business, because those people followed your page because they're interested in your business, right? So they're warm leads. It's not cold traffic, it's warm leads. People who like your brand, who probably used your product already. They may have got a free sample. It could be a consumer, it could be a customer. A sample content calendar. Okay, so this is a sample content calendar, but I've also given you a template, a content calendar, which you can save as it's a Word document. So you can save and you can use that template as well. So you can type it in if you want. So you can do one in Word, you can do one in Excel, you can do one in Canva. It's basically the same thing. The Facebook planner you can use from Facebook, and you can schedule posts automatically in Facebook. Meta's free tools for inspiration. Now, I couldn't find where these are, even though it's in the slideshow. I couldn't find this feature. If you find it, please do share. I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find anything that looks like here. But again, these platforms change. They put certain things up and then they remove it. So if you do find templates, so it says here, Meta's free business tools such as post templates. I couldn't find anything. If you can find something, so I'm going to skip this one. Create your own tasks. Okay, so with your calendar now, I want you to spend about 10 minutes. So if you go to the chat, and I'll post that again just in case you lost it. Let me just find it. Where did I put it on my desktop? Okay, so I've got a sample calendar, content calendar here. So open that, download it basically, and open it. And I want you to spend the next 10 minutes just adding potential posts to that calendar. Okay, so you got one for the whole of January 2026. What you're going to post on a Sunday, what you're going to post on Monday. Just basically it's per day, so you can fill that in. Okay, so spend 10 minutes and then share your calendar into the chat. Okay, so upload it into the chat, showing people how you've planned it out, your content. Spend 10 minutes on that, please. Right, so So you've all got templates that you can work on, and you'll understand why you use a content calendar, right? So automations, you will not be able to set an automation if your page is unpublished. Basically, with automations, I don't know which platform it's looking at the moment. I think it's Facebook. Um, so automations, um, again, I think it's through Meta Business Suite that you can do automations. Once you publish your page, you can come back to automation and set your message. So some of you can't do certain things because it's a new page, but do revisit automations. And again, it's about putting giving automatic messages in Messenger. And I heard that they're gonna Facebook or Meta, they're gonna stop the Messenger service altogether, right? I don't know how true that is, but this is something that I've heard rumored around that Messenger is not going to be a service anymore. They're going to get rid of it. But this is like automatic messages on Messenger that goes out to people. So if somebody says hello on Messenger, you're not having to go and type, hi, how are you doing, and pitch your business. You can put these automatic messages that will go out to people when they interact. Okay, so it seems like you're basically engaged with your audience. Um, let's publish and set automation task. Okay, so we haven't got time to do this right now. Let me just quickly go and show you where the automations are, if I can find it. Automations, are you here? Nope. So let's do a search, automations. About automations in MetaSuite. Okay. Also, certain features may not be available to us in the UK. They first get tested out in the US, and then they decide like which regions should have them. So I'm not sure if this is the actual thing, but again, Meta is so big and so much content everywhere. You have to kind of find it, and it always changes. So that's why it's something that you just got to explore. So grow your business with conversations on Messenger. So I think it will be here somewhere. See all goals. So it's promoting Messenger here, but it's got nothing about automations. I'll be honest with you, I don't know where it is. There's just so much information. You can just jump from one place to another. But if you find it, I've seen it before, but a few years ago, where you could basically set up almost like a chat bot within this. But if I find it at some point, I will share it, even if it's in another session. But if you guys find it as well, just kind of share with everyone. You would think it'd be here if it was in the business suite. Okay. But anyway, we don't want to waste time. So, but as long as you understand that automations is basically to do with the messenger, and you can set up automatic messages to go out in the messenger rather than posting into the social post on your page. Yep. So let's go back. Right, data protection, privacy laws. Obviously, we've covered this previously as well. GDPR, data protection laws. It's important that you handle information securely. Anybody's communicating with you, they're sending messages, they're giving you emails, you're collecting emails, collecting any data on your Facebook page. Just make sure that you keep it secure. You're not sharing it with people without their consent. Only collect the data you need. Information Inform users how you're going to use the data, provide an option to opt out, and never share or sell the data without their consent. It's just that's GDPR basically. So data protection laws, and you've got to do that with anything that where you're handling personal information. So you can go to the .gov website. So let me just type that in. GDPR gov, and it's not the top, it's not always the top one sponsored information. It's this one. So this is the link if you want to learn about GDPR. Okay, I've just put it in the chat for you. So basically, GDPR is important. You've got the Act of 2018 that's still valid, and if the key to GDPR is lawful, fair, and transparent, purpose limited, data minimized, accurate. So each one I'll explain. So lawful, okay, collect information in lawful manner. Make sure it's fair and transparent. You're honest about how you're going to use it. Purpose limited, only collect what you want to use or what you'll use. So you minimize the data, make sure it's accurate. For example, if you give data to school, like your phone number, the name of the parents and address and everything, the school has to follow the GDPR. So now and then you get a letter to update your information, right? Because it needs to be accurate. Excuse me. So it needs to be accurate. It needs to be stored as long as it's necessary. Then you have to delete if you're not using it anymore. And then also it needs to be secure. So wherever you're keeping that data, if you're storing it on your hard drive or if it's on your Facebook, you need to make sure your account is got security, like for example, is password protected, two-factor authentication, that kind of thing. Because if there's a data breach and you've lost a lot of data and now people's phone numbers and addresses, home addresses and things like that are public on the dark web, for example, then you're going against the law. You've done something naughty. Okay, so I think we all understand these 7 principles. And copyright and intellectual property, we've covered that again in other sessions where you literally have to make sure that you've got the permission to use images, videos, or anything that you're using for the posts. So anything that you create, obviously, is your intellectual property rights, your own content. So the law protects these creations so that people or organizations who produce them can control how they are used. In the UK, IP is not one single law, but a collection of legal protections, each covering a different kind of creative. So if you want to copyright your own work, you need to look into that, like what actually covers that. Copyright designs and patents. One major form of IP protection is copyright. Copyright exists automatically as soon as someone creates an original piece of work and records it in some form. So you may want to take a picture of it, which will have the meta data of that image and basically the date you took that picture, which proves that you were there when it was created. Some kind of proof. It depends on what kind of data. Is it video? Is it audio? Is it, some kind of proof that you created it? And people do it in different ways. You can also look up how that's done. So copyright usually lasts for a lifetime of the creator plus 70 years, after which the work becomes a part of public domain. So it will last your lifetime and another 70 years, and then it's out there for anyone to use. Copyright, however, does not protect every type of creation. It protects expressions of ideas, but not the ideas themselves. For example, the text of a novel is protected, but the general idea of a wizard school is not. It also does not generally protect short phrases, names, or simple titles. But you can do more research into that if that's what you're interested in. And then trademarks, another important form of IP protection is trademark law. Trademarks protect elements of branding such as business names, logos, slogans. And I did share a link where you basically register your trademark. So that could be text plus an image as a part of your logo. Unlike copyright, trademark usually needs to be formally registered to have a strong legal protection. So, with copyright, it's basically once you created it, as long as you can prove that you created it, you don't have to go and fill a form somewhere, but trademarks you do. So when a trademark is registered, the owner gains the right to stop others from using that brand. So then it's about inventions, patents, and design rights for inventors. Like if they've invented something new, they would have to get a patent. and a patent protects innovative production method or technology. Patents must be applied for and typically expensive and time consuming. So it's about your product really. If it's a unique product, you may need to protect it by getting the patent rights. There's advertising standards, so you shouldn't have like there's like trade standards basically. So your online advertising, your marketing online. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to exaggerate, give false claims. You need to have it all clearly labeled. As even if you're creating content that is partially related to your product and you're basically in another industry or kind of the health industry, but you're dabbling in the wealth industry, you have to be cautious of any copyright issues when you're talking about another brand, for example. But then when you're talking about your own brand, you can't exaggerate. Okay. So marketing is usually kind of exaggeration, right? But you have to be careful with what you say about your product. Like you don't make false claims that, something that your product will do when it can't do that. Clearly labeled sponsored posts and ads. So if it's an ad, make sure it's clearly labeled that it's an ad. Disclose partnerships and paid promotions. If you're promoting something, don't make it as if it's just a review. Actually mention the sponsors, actually mention that this is a paid promotion. Honesty pays, right? And it's truthfulness. Use images that accurately represent the product or service. So don't just kind of download images to represent your product when that is not your product. Make sure that you get pictures of your product and want so when you send somebody the actual product, they don't realize, oh, it looks nothing like what I saw on the ad. So there's laws around that. So regulations that will protect the consumer. So Advertising Standards Authority, they require all marketing to be truthful. It's also ethical. So ethical targeting and audience production protection. So ethical marketers ensure their advertisement reaches appropriate audiences and does not exploit vulnerable groups. Avoid targeting inappropriate age groups. Do not promote harmful, sensitive, or unsafe content. Avoid manipulating marketing tactics and protect children and vulnerable audiences. Some products should not be marketed to underage or vulnerable groups, for example, alcohol, gambling, or financial services. Even when advertising everyday products, targeting must be ethical. Algorithms make it easy to reach specific groups, so businesses must use this power responsibly. Okay, so obviously, when you're targeting your audience, certain things you talk about, certain things may not be suitable for certain parts of your audience, right? So if there's a way you can put restriction on age, use that. You could like, for example, you're bringing people into a group and you're talking about something that's sensitive. You need to make that clear, okay? And you need to also maybe collect their age. And if they're below 18, you might not allow them in the group, may not approve it. Okay, so that's the ethical part. Respect and ethical communication. The way a business communicates online reflects its values and shapes the public perception. Do not share offensive, discriminatory, or harmful content. Treat followers respectfully. Avoid participating in online arguments. Maintain professionalism at all times. There's If you're on the internet, you'll see there's lots of people who post racist comments. They post things that are disrespectful, offensive, all sorts of stuff, and you'll see that a lot of these posts are from anonymous accounts that don't have any profile pictures, new accounts. Majority of them are bots. Okay, they're basically bots, and it's basically rage bait. Okay, trying to get people worked up so they post more and a debate starts, and obviously that's attention and that's engagement, but it's not ethical. But the people do that, so it can get quite depressing. It can get annoying, and you can get sucked into it as well. So don't make the mistake of getting involved in something like that and posting something that you're going to regret, because it will affect your brand, it will affect your personal brand as well, and it could affect other things like your job and so on. Okay, because we all have a digital footprint, and the last thing you want to do is tarnish that, because it stays on the internet forever. Okay, there's always a way to find that evidence. Okay, so just be cautious. Don't get hooked into like that kind of stuff, because a lot of them are bots and it's rage bait. Don't be a victim of rage bait. Okay, so and remember, a lot of content as well is AI, it's fake. So things that hasn't happened, it seems like it has, and then people are all stirred up and writing things that they will regret. Okay. So why legal and ethical standards matter? Legal and ethical standards are not just rules to follow, they form the foundation of responsible and effective social media marketing. By respecting customer privacy, using content fairly, communicating honestly, and engaging with the audience in a transparent and respectful way, businesses build a long-term trust and protect their reputation. So it's important to think about your business in that way, even though it's online. If it was brick and mortar, you would literally treat your customers politely. You would welcome them at the door. You'd make sure that you respect them. You're not being, you're not discriminating. Well, it's the same thing online. Even though you can't see these people, they're human beings. They have emotions. They have feelings. If you hurt somebody, you cause offense. It may come back to you in a review. It may come back to you as a legal action. You just got to be cautious, right? You have to protect your business. So the questions that this unit relates to is in unit 5. Again, I'll repeat that if you're doing the certificate, you don't have to, these aren't going to be assessed, but the content that's covered in this session is obviously, you should pay attention to. So question 10, explain the challenges in digital marketing and how they impact on social media marketing activities. And question 11, explain legal and ethical issues relating to social media marketing campaigns. So what we've covered is basically the challenges in digital marketing and how they impact on social media marketing, understanding the legal and ethical issues relating to social media marketing, understanding and being able to schedule posts, and understand how to engage with your audience. Okay, so we've got some time left. Session logs, remember to do them. What I want you to do now is just continue with your content calendar and try to increase the amount of content information that you put in there. Be realistic about it and actually make it useful. There's no point just putting anything in there. Plan out for the month of January the type of content that you're going to post on your social platform. It could be TikTok, it could be Facebook, you decide, but fill up the January calendar for your social post. Also, use this time to kind of just check out the face. If you're interested in using Facebook, then check out the Facebook planner and make sure that you know how to schedule a post in here. So you literally just click it and it opens up, and you just put the time and you put what you're going to post. Just try to do one of them for your Facebook page, and also go into your page and make your first post if you haven't done that. So you've got 3 different things that you could do in the next 20 minutes. Okay. So let's say, so it's 10 past 8. If you continue for the next 15 minutes, so we'll come back here with 5 minutes remaining. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this presentation. I'm going to put it into the chat. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to ask me?